Hi guys, I'm Bayley of Evolving Alpha, vegan health and fitness coach. This is Pepper Ann, the little lap dog, who as soon as I sit down, of course she wants to snuggle. We are currently hanging out an extra day in Alabama, making our way back from Florida to Louisiana. We did a little mini Veg Fest tour in Florida for the last couple weeks. And we're heading back today, but we had some bad weather, so we decided to just stay put for an extra day, which gives me the opportunity to make this video to address a question that I had on the last video that I posted where I was doing some juicing, and someone asked, why are you juicing, because it's not really the best thing. And they shared a Dr. Greger video where Dr. Greger made it seem as though juicing wasn't the best thing. So anyway, I just want to unpack that a little bit and explain a little bit more about juicing and why it is a good thing. So first of all, a lot of people ask, why juicing versus blending? Why do people juice? Isn't it not really as good because you're removing all of the fiber? The first thing to remember is that I recommend juicing be a part of your lifestyle, not the only thing that you consume. So take that into account. You're not removing all of the fiber from your diet just because you have a green juice. And then I'm also going to kind of break down some of the things that were in Dr. Greger's video about juicing that was referenced in a comment below my last video. First thing I want to say on that is, a lot of people who are on a plant-based lifestyle, they follow plant-based doctors like it's the holy grail, and they take everything that they say as kind of like the end of the line, when it's not necessarily. Like, Dr. Greger's videos are really short, and he'll review one or two pieces of scientific literature within his video. It doesn't necessarily mean that one particular video is the whole picture of a subject. And I kind of like to go by what I am actually wearing on my necklace that says, question everything. So I follow these doctors as well, and I listen to what they say, and I read scientific literature and research papers and published studies. I think consume all of the information, take it all in, and question everything. Ask questions, and it doesn't mean refute everything. It just means still think for yourself, still ask questions to understand things better and to get a full picture. So the first thing is, with Dr. Greger's video, kind of from the title and the way it's put out there, it makes it seem as if he's trying to say that juicing is bad. But in the video, he doesn't actually say juicing is bad. He's looking at a couple of separate studies, and he's showing some things that are maybe not the most positive things about juicing. They're not necessarily anything bad. It's not saying that juicing is going to be harmful to you, but let's just go over a few of the topics that he mentioned. So the first piece of information and literature that he talks about in that video is discussing fruit juice and how excessive intake of fruit juices can be associated with type 2 diabetes. Now, a couple of things with that. When you're talking about fruit juice, what are they talking about? When I hear fruit juice, I'm thinking Welch's fruit juice off of the Walmart shelf. That is completely different than the juice that I am making. Also, it's talking about strictly fruit juice, which is high in sugar and those kind of things, and not necessarily to say it's all bad sugar, because I don't agree. It's not like, I don't think it's 100% one direction, like 100% positive or 100% negative. I think it's a spectrum, right? And so when I'm juicing 80 to 90% greens, vegetables, herbs, and then just a tiny small amount of fruit in there. In the video that I posted, I only juiced 2 apples in the entire juice with lots of other vegetables. I can eat 2 apples in a day. Simple. So I'm still getting like the same amount. I'm not getting an excessive amount of sugar. But in this study, they're just talking about fruit juices. They're just talking about fruit juices that are added, increased intake as part of someone else's diet, which they don't really go into what else those people are consuming. So that could also have an effect on why there's this increase in type 2 diabetes. And the study in general also just shows association, not causation. And that's because you've got to take all of those other things into account as well. Like I mentioned in the beginning, you've got to look at the whole picture. So what else were those people consuming while they were also increasing their fruit juices? What the heck kind of fruit juices were they consuming? All of that comes into account. Then in Dr. Greger's video, he talks about the benefits of fiber. I'm not arguing benefits of fiber. I think fiber is great. Yes, when you juice, you are removing the fiber. That's why I don't recommend you just 100% consume juices and you never eat anything else in your diet. I have a green juice during the day. I will have lots of other meals as well. All of my other meals contain lots of fiber, so I'm still getting plenty of fiber. I believe there's benefit in fiber. I would not want you to remove all of the fiber from your diet, but I don't think having a green juice in addition to all of your other fibrous meals is a bad thing. The main point that I think people were taking from Dr. Greger's video and assuming that it means juicing is not a good thing is that Dr. Greger talks about one study where they were saying polyphenols can be bound to fiber in fruits and vegetables. Now, whether that is 100% of polyphenols, I don't believe it's 100%. That would be lost, or it's still contained in the fiber when you extract the juice. And I also think it probably depends on what type of juice that you're looking at, what type of juicing process you're doing. Now, I did not pull up the full research article and pine through it, but I'm just saying, like, take these things into consideration. So, did the study compare fruit juice and like juice that you buy in the store with vertical, like centrifuge juicers that are not as good at maintaining the quality of your juice, and comparing even both of those to masticating style juicers and really good type of cold press juicing and the juicers that are really a higher quality at extracting the nutrition and keeping the vitamins and minerals intact? Does that make a difference in how much polyphenols actually are able to come through in the juice and what is still bound to the fiber? So I think you have to take those things into account as well. I am using a masticating horizontal style omega juicer. It is a pretty good juicer, not top of the line. You could go up to like a Green Star type juicer, which is really, really good. But the one that I'm using, I think would be like 4 out of 5 stars. It's pretty close. Like, it's one of the best ones that you can get. Maybe not the best, but for a fair price, good amount of money, it's still a couple $100 for that juicer. It's much better than centrifuge type juicers. It's much better juicing with a masticating horizontal juicer like that Omega versus buying juices on the shelf in Walmart. Totally different quality of juices there. So always keep that in mind as well. And again, I'm not saying to only consume juices. So yes, I'll have a green juice during the day, but I also have lots of other meals. And in all of those other meals, I'm consuming all of the fiber. And that means I'm consuming all of those polyphenols in those other meals. So I'm still getting lots of polyphenols. I'm not just living on juices and never receiving polyphenols in my diet. And just because you may not receive 100% of the polyphenols in your juice doesn't mean that you should just completely throw out all of the other benefits of juicing, all of the other vitamins and minerals and phytonutrients that are still in that bright, colorful juice. I think you can just see that come through. There are no studies showing that all vitamins are removed from juice, and when you go through the juicing process, all you're left with is water. So don't throw out all of the benefits just because of one thing that is missing or not as abundant in the juice. And as a little aside, I'm just doing some more reading on these polyphenols and different things that can affect your polyphenols. There's a lot of things, you guys, that can affect the levels of polyphenols that are in different foods and that you receive from different foods, all the way down to your digestion, to your gut health, to cooking your foods decreases polyphenols. So don't juice your foods, don't cook your foods, and don't remove any of the skins from any of your foods. And also, you're going to have to eat every part of the plant, because a lot of the plants, when they're reviewed, the polyphenol content is in inedible parts of the plant. So that too. So do you see what I'm getting at here? You can't avoid every instance of not receiving 100% of the polyphenols of a food. Next thing is to also take into account the volume and the amounts. So for example, in this video, the last video that I posted, I juiced an entire bunch of Swiss chard. Fresh, local, organic Swiss chard. There are many people, first of all, especially many people in America, who have never even seen Swiss chard, much less eaten it. So they've never received any of the benefits of Swiss chard. The fact that I am consuming an entire head, getting most of the vitamins and minerals from an entire head in one serving, that's going to be beneficial for my body. I don't see that in any way being detrimental to my body. So if you could introduce someone to all of those vitamins and minerals who otherwise would have never eaten that vegetable before, I think that's a good thing. And then take into account the volume. So I would have normally, maybe I would eat 1 cup of raw Swiss chard in a meal. But in this juice, I was able to get most of the benefits of that Swiss chard, but I had maybe 6 cups worth. So really I got a lot more of the vitamins and minerals and nutrition from that by juicing it. Let's say, for example, 50% of your polyphenols are bound to the fiber and so are lost in the juicing process. So if I eat 1 cup of that Swiss chard, that means I get 100% of 1 cup of polyphenols from that vegetable. But if I juiced 6 cups worth and consumed that in 1 serving, and I only received 50% of the polyphenols, but 100% of all the other vitamins and minerals that are still in there, I've now got 100% of the vitamins and minerals from 6 cups of Swiss chard, and I've gotten 50% of the polyphenols, which means I've gotten 3 cups worth of polyphenols compared to the 1 cup worth that I might have eaten in its whole raw food form. Does that make sense? So really I'm just saying, look at the big picture as well and consider always how it's being used. And just because some of the polyphenols may remain intact bound to the fiber doesn't make that juice detrimental to your body. So in Dr. Greger's video, I don't think he was saying juicing is bad, and I completely agree. Don't rely only on juices. Don't rely on that as your only source of nutrition. You should eat whole food meals as well. Eat raw foods, eat cooked foods, eat juices, do some blending, do it all and get the benefits of all of that. So I just wanted to kind of cover that stuff and remind you guys to not just look for like one piece of information, one solution, one trick, one hack. Try to always look at things in the big picture. Try to take everything into account. Ask as many questions as possible. You know, just like I was able to kind of give you that description of 1 cup of eating it whole versus having 6 cups worth of the nutrition because I juiced it. Just because one thing may not have gotten 100% through the juicing process doesn't make it bad. And it doesn't even mean that I'm getting less than I would have gotten if I was able to eat 1 cup worth. Especially for me being pregnant right now, that is a big part of it. Like, it is really hard for me to get a lot of fiber in my diet right now. It's challenging. There's a lot going on in my stomach. There's a lot like taking up space in this area. My stomach's all pushed up into my chest. I can't fit a lot of food. The digestion process actually slows down when you're pregnant to enable your body to extract as much nutrients as possible to deliver that to the growing baby. So it's even more challenging for me now than normal to eat a lot of fiber. So my personal way of kind of making up for that, if I can't eat as much fiber, then I'm going to juice a whole bunch of it, get a lot of those nutritional benefits, and just eat as much fiber as I can manage. But this way, I'm increasing all of those other vitamins and minerals, and don't forget, I'm still getting polyphenols in my other whole food meals. So you guys, please keep that in mind for yourself, for your own diets, your own lifestyle. Incorporate a variety of things. Juicing has its benefits, Blending has its benefits. Raw food has its benefits. Cooked food has its benefits. If you incorporate a variety of methods into your lifestyle, you're going to get a lot of healthy benefits from that. And you're going to be able to maintain it, and you're going to enjoy it. I hope this helped to explain things a little bit better for you. I hope it kind of gave you a big picture view, opened your mind a little bit more to utilizing some of the various methods and why you would utilize some of the various methods. Anyway, I hope it helped you guys. If it did, give this a thumbs up. I hope it explained things a little bit. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button below as well if you're new, so that you stay in touch with us and that you'll get notifications for all of our new videos that come out. I've got a couple of videos from Fraser's latest presentations at different veg fests that I can't wait to get uploaded for you guys. So lots of new content to share. Love hanging out with you guys. Thanks for being here, and I will see you again soon in our next video.